There was one truth everyone in air warfare believed. You do not send an unarmed airplane into enemy airspace at night. You do not build a frontline combat aircraft out of wood. You do not survive by speed alone when radar, flak, and night fighters fill the sky. By 1939, this rule is ironclad. Germany believes it. Britain believes it. Every air staff college in the world teaches it. Bombers survive by flying high, flying in formation, and bristling with machine guns. Fighters survive by armor and firepower. Anything else is suicide. The Luftwaffe's night defense system is built on this certainty. Radar stations ring Germany. Searchlights claw at the sky. Heavy flak batteries wait in dense belts around every major city. And above it all, twin-engine night fighters prowl in darkness, guided by ground controllers who can see you long before you see them. Into this system, Britain sends lumbering bombers. Wellingtons, Stirlings, Halifaxes, Lancasters. Big, slow, predictable. And they die by the thousands. So when British engineers suggest a bomber with no defensive guns, built mostly of plywood, senior officers laugh. Some openly call it irresponsible. Others call it criminal. The Germans are even more dismissive. A wooden airplane? At night? Against the most sophisticated air defense network ever built? They dismiss it as worthless. But in 1941, one decision, made quietly, stubbornly, against every rule, sets Germany up for humiliation. And the Luftwaffe won't understand what's killing them until it's far too late. You are Wilfred Freeman. It's 1940. Britain is fighting for its life. The Battle of Britain has just ended, and while the RAF survives, the cost is brutal. Aircraft production is stretched to the limit. Aluminum is scarce. Skilled metalworkers are already overwhelmed. You are not a pilot. You are an engineer. 54 years old. Soft-spoken. Analytical. And utterly unmoved by ridicule. You believe the future of air warfare is not armor or guns, but speed. You support a radical proposal from Geoffrey de Havilland, a fast, twin-engine aircraft built largely from wood. No defensive armament. No turrets. No gunners. Just engines, fuel, and a bomb bay. The logic is simple and heretical. If you are faster than the fighters, if you fly higher than the flak, you don't need guns. But logic doesn't win wars alone. Politics does. Tradition does. Fear does. Bomber command hates the idea. Fighter command scoffs. One Air Ministry official writes that the aircraft would be of no military value whatsoever. Worthless. You push anyway. What? Because wood solves everything. Furniture factories can build it. Piano makers can build it. Britain's woodworking industry, ignored by the Luftwaffe, can suddenly become an aircraft production engine. And the design is beautiful. A wingspan of 54 feet. 2 Rolls-Royce Merlin engines. A top speed projected at over 380 miles per hour, faster than Germany's frontline fighters. If it works. By late 1941, the prototype flies. And it doesn't just meet expectations. It shatters them. Test pilots report speeds exceeding 390 miles per hour. The aircraft handles smoothly. It climbs fast. It disappears into cloud like a ghost. You now face the real challenge. Convincing the RAF to risk lives on something everyone says should not exist. The first operational Mosquito missions begin quietly. No fanfare. No press. No ceremony. You send them where failure would be undeniable. Occupied Europe. The first crews feel naked. You sit in the cockpit knowing there are no guns behind you. No turret above you. No tail gunner watching your six. Just speed. And darkness. You cross the coast at 20,000 feet. German radar detects you. It always does. A blip appears on a scope. Controllers vector night fighters toward your position. Normally this is where bombers die. But tonight is different. The Mosquito cruises at over 360 miles per hour. German night fighters, Ju-88s, Bf-110s, struggle to close the distance. Their intercept calculations assume bomber speeds that no longer apply. You hear nothing. You see nothing. Flak bursts below you. Late. Inaccurate. You drop your bombs and turn for home. And no one fires a single shot at you. At first, the Germans assume a fluke. Then it happens again. And again. By 1942, the Mosquito is everywhere. Pathfinder missions. Precision strikes. Reconnaissance flights. Intruder missions that hunt German night fighters as they take off and land. One Mosquito flies to Berlin, alone, during a major speech by Hermann Göring. It drops its bombs and leaves before defenses react. The message is unmistakable. You are not safe. Anywhere. German pilots report the same thing over and over. They see nothing. They hear engines, then they're gone. Radar tracks appear, then vanish. Night fighter ace after ace reports frustration bordering on panic. The Luftwaffe tries to adapt.
They add more radar, more flak, faster fighters. Still, Mosquito losses remain shockingly low. In 1943, Bomber Command calculates that Mosquito crews suffer casualty rates less than 1/4 of heavy bomber crews. Less than 1/4. Now comes the humiliation. The Mosquito begins escorting bombers, not with guns but by attacking German night fighters on the ground. You fly low. Treetop height. 300 miles per hour. Cannon blazing into parked aircraft and fuel dumps. German pilots call it the wooden terror. Factories scramble to design counters. The Heinkel He-219 is rushed into service specifically to hunt the Mosquito. It still struggles. The numbers tell the story. By war's end, over 7,700 Mosquitoes are built. They fly more than 28 different roles. Bomber. Fighter. Reconnaissance. Night intruder. Loss rates remain among the lowest of any RAF aircraft. And the Germans? They never build a true equivalent. At this point, pause. Because this is where the realization hits. If you find this kind of forgotten history as fascinating as we do, we'd be honored if you'd hit that subscribe button. We believe these stories of courage, sacrifice, and genius deserve to be told. And by subscribing, you help us ensure they aren't forgotten. What Germany doesn't understand at first is that the Mosquito isn't just an aircraft. It's a philosophical collapse. Every assumption about air combat, armor, guns, formations, comes under question. The Mosquito proves that speed and precision can outperform brute force. Strategically, the effects ripple outward. Pathfinder Mosquitoes mark targets with unprecedented accuracy, making bomber streams deadlier. Reconnaissance Mosquitoes photograph every major German installation, often flying unopposed. Night intruder Mosquitoes force the Luftwaffe to disperse fighters and defenses, weakening overall coverage. German resources bleed away chasing a ghost. And the psychological impact is devastating. Berlin, Hamburg, Cologne. Cities once protected by layers of defense now feel exposed. Göring, once confident, reportedly rages about the aircraft he dismissed. The worthless plane humiliates the Reich night after night. After the war, the Mosquito fades quietly into history. Jet engines arrive. Radar evolves. The wooden airplane seems like an odd relic. But the legacy endures. Wilfred Freeman retires knowing he backed one of the most versatile combat aircraft ever built. Thousands of Mosquito aircrew, many barely in their 20s, return home alive because speed replaced firepower. Today, only a handful of Mosquitoes remain airworthy. But their story matters now more than ever. Because innovation doesn't come from consensus. Because arrogance blinds even the strongest powers. Because sometimes the thing everyone laughs at changes everything. If this story moved you, please hit that like button. Every click tells the algorithm this piece of history is worth remembering. We're dedicated to rescuing these forgotten stories from the archives. If you want to join us on this mission, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Where are you watching from? Drop a comment with your city or state and tell us if someone in your family served. Thank you for ensuring that Wilfred Freeman and the thousands of Mosquito aircrew do not disappear into silence. They deserve to be remembered.